critical mass is like a way of saying, hey everybody, come on, let's do it. We can all do this. We can all make our city a better, more fun place to live.
If you ride with a bunch of other people, it feels good.
This is a story of bicycle riders which call themselves critical and a system which calls them criminal.
Out every month, or is this just this month?
Just distributing today.
Bike rules.
On the last Friday of every month, we meet at 7 o'clock at Union Square, and we take to the streets and we ride.
This is critical mass, and it's just very cool to be able to exercise democracy. This is what democracy looks like.
You could see that there's a direct relation to more people biking, the critical mass is being big.
It's way bigger than last time. This is mad.
Really about reoccupying the city on a different basis, and that pleasure is a crucial subversive principle of that reoccupation and reinhabitation of our lives.
It's amazing. Like, as far as I can see in either direction is bicycles.
When you're riding your bicycle, it's an amazing thing. You really feel the connection between like what you do and how it affects everything else, and you really almost, without even realizing it, become very environmentally aware.
Nothing here is for sale. We're not even welcome to sell anything here. It's all about just coming together with a bunch of other people, moving through the streets. You're mobile, you're in motion the whole time, and you don't know what's going to happen. It's actually open-ended, and you cannot predict what is going to happen at any given moment in critical mass. And I think that's part of the magic of it. It speaks to people's craving for authentic, spontaneous human interaction and community. It's something you don't get to do very much in this society. I've been involved in critical mass since day one. I was one of the people who helped start it with about several dozen other people here in San Francisco. The concept came along to try to meet up once a month and fill the streets with bikes. The logic of the dance between critical mass bicyclists and police, wherever you are, there's been a number of incidents. New York is definitely on the forefront of this struggle right now. The police, on some level, as individual rank-and-file policemen, are offended by critical mass.
It became a clash of cultures. The police department, law enforcement, law and order control versus the critical mass freedom to ride your bicycle. And that tension began just before the Republican National Convention in August of 2004. And I thought that once the Republicans left town, it would go back to the way it used to be for 6 years in New York, where there was no real tension. There weren't mass arrests or anything, and there was none of this seizing of the bicycles.
Please, sir. You're under arrest right here. That's all right, you're under arrest.
Under arrest at Critical Mass.
Well, that was the week of my 50th birthday, and my plan was to treat myself to a new bike and go on my first Critical Mass ride.
We are vehicles. We have a right to ride in the streets, just like cars.
Riding together in a group is the most important thing here, because the #1 complaint of cyclists in New York City is that they don't feel safe. So a way to feel safe is to ride together in a group. And if we could keep riding together in groups, keep butting up, it will create more pressure for more infrastructure.
The ride was glorious, and everything was going well. The police seemed to be friendly. When suddenly the call came out, "You're under arrest," and they, mass arrest ensued.
In South America, you don't get arrested for cycling. In Europe, you don't get arrested for cycling. They've arrested 400 cyclists in the last half a year in New York City.
There was a wall of police officers that had stopped traffic right along here. I naively assumed that they were just here to prevent us from going further south, but that we can turn right. So I coasted up further toward the wall of officers, and then suddenly, out of the blue, they descended on us, and we were all out under arrest. It was one police officer grabbing my arm and telling me, "Drop the bike, drop the bike."
Why are people getting arrested?
For breaking the law.
And a lot of times the police don't understand what we're doing. They think we're just blocking traffic. So we're trying to tell them we're not demonstrating, we're celebrating what the streets could look like.
You hear that?
Avenue and 10th Street, where the Critical Mass had just completed. The police came with a line of motorcycles, and they started pushing the bikes, and the bikers started pushing back. There was a man who was trapped under his bike, and the police all grabbed him at once. One police officer violently pushed his face into the ground and put his knee on the person's neck. The other police officers quickly were shouting to get back as everybody was chanting, "Let him go, let him go." The police started taking out their batons and swinging them at the protesters. The protesters were chanting, "The whole world is watching." One police officer took out his pepper spray and said, "Get back or you're all going to get sprayed."
So as soon as they hit, a lot of people started running down here to come into the front gate. Now we were aware of the potential for the police to follow them in. So we had alerted people in the church to basically lock up. It's a clear attempt to intimidate through open brutality, or what I refer to as tactical brutality, because this is not something that spontaneously takes place with police. They're instructed.
Police departments use modern science to protect you, such as teletype, photography, two-way radio.
So since August, the police department has consistently been, as they put it, mobilizing resources to monitor and police these rides. And when they say mobilizing resources, what they mean is hundreds of police officers fitted to the gills with all of the latest toys.
During the Republican convention, the police department put out legal guidelines for rank-and-file police officers that described some of the protesting tactics that they would encounter.